This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Audible.com. Coming up on Destructoid, you can catch fish in Torchlight 2, BioShock Infinite is getting delayed, and EA confirms Dead Space 3. Quick, everybody act surprised. All this and more right now on Destructoid.
Hey there, welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy anniversary, Max.
Oh,
Not ours.
Oh.
I'm talking about Wolfenstein.
Of course, yeah. Today's actually a very, very special day. It is the 20th anniversary of Wolfenstein 3D. As I'm sure you guys all know, Wolfenstein 3D is arguably the first proper first-person shooter, and in that, a totally downright revolutionary game.
Man,
yeah.
I remember this.
Of course,
Good
in honor
old
of this
memories.
momentous Nazi-killing occasion, Bethesda has put Wolfenstein 3D up on their website as a browser game, as well as having Wolfenstein 3D Classic Platinum available for free on iOS later today. It's weird to think how quickly video games have grown up. And there are a good deal of gamers who weren't even born when this game came out, but you know, I had some fun with Wolfenstein as a kid. I remember talking about robot Hitlers and in the school lunchroom, and then doing our best My Leben impressions. You know, just killing them Nazis.
Yep.
And that was after it had been out for a few years. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure this makes a lot of us feel old. But I will save my oldness sentiment for next year when, good God, Doom is going to be 20 next year.
Man, this really reminds you of those old Windows screensavers. Do you remember the first 3D one?
Those were
that shit blew my mind.
Those were crazy, man.
Yeah.
And then they had the toasters. Those were just crazy. Anyway, that's a nice happy news for fans of first-person shooters. You have some less happy news for fans.
Well, yes and no. There's really no easy way to say this, so I'm just gonna put it out there. You guys, BioShock Infinite is coming out on my birthday in 2013. Yeah. Ken Levine announced today that the game has been pushed back to February 26, 2013, presumably so he could send me a proper birthday gift, maybe with some flowers and a signed card that says, "I'll always be your big daddy, thanks for the memories, love, Ken." No? Okay. Well, the game has been pushed back till next year anyway, and unfortunately that means we probably won't be seeing it at any of the major conventions this year. Definitely not E3, since preparing for those kind of takes precious time away from the game's development. When asked if there were any specific reasons for the delay, Levine said, quote, "BioShock Infinite is a very big game, and we're doing things that no one has ever done in a first-person shooter. We had a similar experience with the original BioShock, which was delayed several months as our original ship date drew near. Why? Because the big daddies weren't the big daddies you've since come to know and love. Because Andrew Ryan's golf club didn't have exactly the right swing. Because Rapture needed one more coat of grimy Art Deco." I'm not gonna lie, you guys, this sucks. BioShock Infinite was easily in my top 5 anticipated games of this year, and like most gamers, I'm an incredibly impatient person. That said, I find it curious that they chose such a precise release date when it's still 10 months away. Yeah? Almost makes you wonder if there's some truth to my little birthday theory after all. Curious indeed. Ken, if you're watching this, I know what you're up to, and I like it.
Yeah, well, welcome to the club. I was all excited for Ni no Kuni in 2012, but that's pushed back too.
Yeah.
Games get delayed, it happens. One game that is not getting delayed, though it was at one point, you guys might recall a few videos I've done about Dragon Dogma. That's Capcom's upcoming giant open world lore simulator. I previewed the game a while back, and I also interviewed the producer, as well as gushed excessively about the demo in which you get to kill a griffin. And today we've got a piece of crazy news. In Dragon's Dogma, there will be dragons, obviously, but there's going to be one dragon called the Dragon, and it's going to be so giant and terrifying that people will have to fight it together online via asynchronous co-op. Basically, everybody goes online with their NPC pawns and fights the dragon, and the dragon drops loot and some rare items, but, you know, whichever player lands the final blow, finally, will get a very special prize, and everyone who takes part in this big epic dragon hunt will get their names in the Hall of Fame for all of the internet to see. Of course, if, you know, for some reason you hate the internet, there'll also be an offline mode in which you can fight your dragon. Is it dragon or your dragon? I don't know.
Probably
dragon by yourself with the help of your constantly shouting NPC pawns. And presumably the dragon in that mode will have less health because that would be really unfair if it was just like you by yourself against it. Anyway, Dragon's Dogma is odd in that it doesn't really have any traditional multiplayer, though it is a game that relies heavily on the use of a party system. The closest thing it has to like co-op is the ability to share your main pawn with your friends online. But this is this asynchronous dragon battle sounds interesting, and that's a cool looking dragon at the very least. I know I might, possibly by some chance know somebody who might be reviewing Dragon's Dogma. So if you guys have any, specific questions about the game, I do know I could tell that person. I could pass those on anyway.
Is there a dogma in it?
I don't know.
One or two?
I said my friend might be maybe.
Ask your friend.
I'll
later.
talk to my friend
we'll talk later. Yeah.
Back in the parking lot behind the shed. Anyway, that is hitting PS3 and 360 in just a couple weeks. That's May 22nd in North America and May 25th in Europe.
All right, that's very exciting. I wish all reviewers got their copies as early as your friend did. But hey, no problem. So, if I look tired and disgusting today, it's because I was up all night playing video games, which is most nights, actually. But today I get to brag about it because the Torchlight 2 beta opened yesterday, and I am inside of it. Or I was inside of it, not anymore. That's weird to say. Anyway, I chose to play as the Outlander, which is the class where his specialties are guns and magic. I also got a cute little Papillon, or is it Papillon dog, to follow me around and like wreck shit up. He's adorable. He's got a little pack on his back. It's so cute.
It's French for butterfly.
Oh,
Papillon.
I didn't know that. That's adorable. Oh, he's so cute. Anyway, yeah, I just kind of wandered around doing quests for a couple hours. Obviously, this game is a lot like Diablo. It was made by a bunch of ex-Diablo guys, but it does stand on its own, and it's got a lot of charm. It's just kind of unfortunate that it has to release so closely to Diablo, and I'm really hoping people don't ignore it just because of that. There's no NDA or anything, so we can show and say literally whatever we want about the game, and rest assured, I have plenty to say. So we're going to be putting up a preview video over on our Rev3 Games channel sometime tomorrow. We're going to talk about the different character classes, the quest system, items, everything, basically. So look out for that on youtube.com/Rev3Games. In the meantime, our producer, Zach, put up a video this afternoon on Rev3 Games showing off some gameplay from the beta. He also gave his initial impressions. So if you're interested in Torchlight 2, or maybe you don't know much about it, but you really like dungeon crawlers, you should definitely check this one out. The beta is closed for now, but we're going to be giving out some codes later this week. We'll say in the show later how you can get those. But yeah, last I heard, Runic has projected a release window of around mid-June for this, I think, like about a month after Diablo 3 releases. So look out for it then. Also, I know this is like super crucial and important, but you can fish in the game. There are fish. Yes. I went fishing and I caught a tunnel shark and a rip snout, which is apparently not a thing that really exists.
Day one purchase.
Yes,
I like fish in the games.
So, now that important information is out of the way, let's thank our sponsor. Audible.com is the #1 provider of downloadable audiobooks and spoken word entertainment. They've got over 100,000 titles to choose from, things like sci-fi, thrillers, drama, business, young adult, don't lie, I know you read that you can download to your iPod or MP3 player and listen to anytime, anywhere. Even better, you can get your first audiobook entirely free by going to audiblepodcast.com/Destructoid and signing up. Max, you like words.
I do like words.
You like listening to words.
I like to read books and in some cases listen to them. I have a recommendation. I actually haven't heard the audiobook of this, but you guys should check out The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon. It's a story of like these two punk kids in the 1930s who invent a superhero and start writing comics, and a bunch of other crazy stuff happens, and they start publishing comics. And it's very loosely based on Siegel and Shuster, who are the guys who made Superman, and it's a good read, regardless of whether you like comics or not. There's love and there's war and adventures in it.
Thank you for that recommendation, Max.
Sure, anytime.
Dead Space.
Dead Space. So we've been hearing rumors about this for months. So EA's announcement that they're making a new Dead Space game it's really not much of a surprise, but surprise, guys! EA confirmed that they're making a new Dead Space game. Hooray! So EA told Game Informer that we'd be seeing more at E3, but right now the only thing we know for sure is that the game is going to be released sometime between now and March 31st, 2013. However, there are, a whole bunch of rumors to hold us over. For starters, Dead Space 3, or whatever they're actually going to call it, will feature co-op. That's the big thing right here. This will make some slight changes to the campaign, like very slight, and will feature a scar-faced man. This is all rumor, by the way. A scar-faced man with a red-eyed, like, rig suit together, as opposed to, Isaac's blue one like that. And together, Isaac and this new ally will use telekinetic powers to manipulate the environment. They'll also share ammo, and they can heal each other, and this is interesting. There will supposedly be no revivals if one of the players dies. They'll have to start over at a checkpoint.
I thought that was very interesting.
Indeed. And there's actually a theory that totally sort of syncs up with this well. The co-op rumor is supported by another rumor from last October. We've known about this game being in the works for a while. The Dead Space 3 would feature crazy old Isaac Clarke developing a split personality and a so-called Shadow Isaac who will say mean things to him the whole time. So having a co-op mode based on like two halves of the same person makes for sort of a simple addition plot-wise, and the lack of players being able to revive each other really makes sense because if if somebody shoots your Tyler Durden,
I was gonna say it's like Fight Club the game, but with aliens.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
Some other old rumors point to the setting of the game being an Arctic planet called Tau Volantis, which makes me think sort of Lost Planet. Anyway, on here, supposedly Isaac's going to have to go on a rescue mission, meanwhile, while escaping the authorities. The last bit about being on the run is supported by a newer rumor that Isaac will be fighting humans in addition to necromorphs. So,
good.
Cheese
Fuck
it, it's
humans.
the cops. In addition to this, Visceral Games is apparently giving the weapons upgrade system an overhaul. The plasma cutter will no longer switch between horizontal and vertical fire, and it'll instead have a cutting shot for its primary fire, and then a secondary fire that's just like a pushback blast. And then also the plasma rifle is going to feature a secondary fire that shoots blades, like knives. So, for a game that only got announced officially today, not even really an announcement, more like an acknowledgement, we sure know a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
I wonder if there will be any surprises left. What do you make of this?
I'm excited about the prospect of it being on an ice planet. I think that's
a nice
cool.
change of scene from space.
I do wonder if you'll be able to play the whole game as co-op. Do we know that yet?
It seems like, again, it's pretty tentative, but it seems like that's what they're sort of going for.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're sort of doing some, I don't know if it's going to be drop in, drop out, or what the story is, but maybe
They said they were integrating the co-op character in with the narrative campaign, so
Right.
I guess I would assume that it is. But I don't play a whole lot of co-op games to begin with. I'd probably play this single player. You and I should play co-op, actually. You like Dead Space, right, Max?
Yeah, we've had a sordid history with those games because I pee my pants every time I try and play them because
It
shit
was
jumps
really
out at me.
embarrassing when that happened.
Yeah, I'm a tween.
Yeah.
Kind of a tween sometimes. Anyway, Dead Space 3,
But yeah,
I guess that's
I'm
a thing.
super excited for this. I think it'll probably, I would imagine it'll take a little bit longer to develop if they're adding a whole co-op section. It seems like
you could have said that about the multiplayer in Dead Space 2. Maybe.
Exactly,
But,
so maybe.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like if that was coming out in the holiday season, we would have seen some lead time for that. So I'm guessing like
definitely.
early. Also, Dead Space 2 came out like January of.
They've got too
whatever.
much competition later in the year, I think.
Yeah.
It's just like early 2013.
Very smart to go up against BioShock Infinite.
We don't know. That's all the speculation we have time for today, unfortunately. But before you guys go, you should hop on over to our Rev3 Games channel. We talk about it constantly. But Anthony just put up a video of his new series, Random Encounter, where he encounters random things and then tells you about them. This week he found a texture pack for Minecraft that makes everything look like Fez, and it's amazing, and I know this was solely created to distract me from all my work this weekend, so thank you for that guy who made this.
You should go check that out. Anthony was just telling me earlier about this random encounter that he had in a men's restroom at a truck stop.
Really?
Yeah. It's a really weird story. Anyway.
That Obama.
Yeah.
Blame
Oh,
Obama,
boy.
hashtag.
All right, that's enough, Tara. You should go follow us on Twitter. I'm Max Scoville, and she's Tara Longest, and together we are The Detoid Show. And we're going to be back here on Friday for another live show. That's at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. YouTube.com/Detoid, this very website you're on right now, probably. And
Yeah, we're giving away Torchlight 2 beta codes.
Oh my goodness, that's right.
We got 10 of them from the guys over at Runic. And so we're probably going to give out some during our live show and maybe some on our Twitter, Facebook. I don't know. There's no way of knowing. You'll just have to watch our live show to find out. So do it and be there and shit, because I'm making cookies.
Oh, good.
So you have to come.
All right, stop shouting.
And punch.
Have a good night, guys.
See you Friday.